Hi there and welcome to today's video. I am setting up my bullet journal for December. I am Natasha of Natasha Miller Creates and I am getting my bullet journal ready for the last month of 2023. I chose presents as my theme. I felt it ties into Christmas, but if you are setting up a birthday month, this could be a fun theme for you to use as well. The color palette I chose was a retro Christmas holiday palette. I thought it was kind of neutral and fun, so I decided to go with that. And I am using my gouache paints for the cover page of this setup. Normally I use my acrylographs. I thought I'd give them a break. I did regret it a little bit because I've just gotten so used to using my acrylographs, but I digress. I decided to use my gouache paints. And since I don't have a paint for every color that I wanted to use, I did some paint mixing. Now I have linked the video up in the cards above as well as down below on how I mix my paints, and so you can go check that out if you're interested. But here I am painting my cover page. Now when I was sketching out my cover page, I ran into some issues. I ended up completely creasing my page from erasing too hard. I think I've done this every month since October and it's driving me crazy. And then the pencil I was using to do my outlines was a total mess. I love it, but not for using in my bullet journal. So basically it was just a massive gray smudge. So you're gonna see how I troubleshoot that and kind of work around that. But part of the reason why I choose to use gouache paints and paint pens like the acrylographs is because I find that they aren't as wet as watercolors, so I'm less likely to warp my page. And then of course acrylic paints are plastic and they dry hard and then create a bumpy surface for your next page. So that tends to be why people gravitate more towards gouache paint or watercolor paint when they are painting in their journals. So I am going in with my gouache and I'm adding my colors, and then I plan on taking a black acrylograph and going in and just outlining the image, the illustration. And I know acrylograph, you think acrylic paint. It's more a water-based acrylic paint, so it doesn't quite dry as plasticky or as hard. So that's why I like using the acrylographs in my notebook. So December tends to be a busy year and I tend to not rely on my journal as much. I find that in my mind, I'm just go, 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 go. And sometimes that's without my journal. And I really have been finding that I need to rely on my journal a lot more, especially with work getting busier and then everything that I want to start working towards starting in January. So I'm hoping to use my journal more. I'm also super excited. I was influenced by Joshi Corin, and I've been reading Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. So I'm kind of excited to get into that. That's going to be my goal for December, is to start working on that and start implementing some of his strategies to see how it goes. I'm hoping to finish the book soon because I am in the process of getting my 2024 bullet journal set up. I'm so excited. I'm in a B5 again because I absolutely love the B5s. And so I kind of want to see what some of his suggestions are and see if that's something I can incorporate in for the overall year or if it's something I can incorporate monthly. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish that book soon and then I can get a better idea of my setup. I have a content journal that needs updating and setting up as well, so I'm excited about that. And then of course I'm feeling a little bit anxious about setting up my Notion templates again. So basically it's just going to be a duplication of the files I have, but Notion's very intimidating and I'm still working on getting comfortable with it. So yeah, that's where that comes from. So here you see me troubleshooting the issue I had. So what I ended up doing, I tore a page out of the back of my journal and using a compass and a pencil, I drew the circle. I measured to see where I wanted the edge of the circle to be. And then I just cut the circle out and glued the page in. It was that simple. And that way it covered up the gray tone mess of my pencil and it also hides the bumpiness where my eraser, where I was a little bit too enthusiastic when it came to erasing. My dashboard, or my cover page on the left, is Every Gift Tells a Story. I decided to keep the lettering simple this month. I've kind of fallen out of practice with my lettering, so that's another goal for 2024, which is going to be to kind of get back into practicing and experimenting with my lettering. Again, I am cutting tabs. I think I will be carrying over tabs into 2024 as well, because they are nice to have. I really have been enjoying having them and using them. And then outlining my pages with a black Tombow. I store my Tombows upright, which technically I should be able to do because they're a water-based ink, but man alive, do they dry out on me. They dry out so quickly. So I'm going to, again, another goal, although this one's a little frivolous, I guess, is going to be to store my Tombows horizontal, because I go through black Tombows like no man's business. So definitely want to kind of spare some money on that front. So they will be stored horizontal from here on in. And here I'm going in with my black acrylograph, and I'm just outlining it to give it a bit more dimension. I've been playing with my style a little bit. For example, using outlines that are a darker color of the color I'm using, the main color I'm using, and I've done that for the last couple months, October, November, September, but I kind of miss the contrast of the black. So for this theme and the doodles, I decided to go back to using a black outline, and honestly I really do like it, so we'll see. Like I said, I'm still playing and experimenting with some ideas. I do have freebies for my Blank to Brilliant email subscribers. So that is available over on the website, which I've linked down below. You can sign up for my email newsletter and you can get access to that immediately. It's for a limited time, so if you do like this design, I suggest you head over there quickly so that you can go grab that. My email has been a little bit dormant, so you don't have to worry about being spammed. But I do have bigger plans for it for 2024. So I know this is a December setup and I keep talking about all my goals and my plans for 2024, but it's top of my mind right now and I'm really excited to get going. My energy definitely ebbs and flows, and I feel like I'm coming out of an energy deficit period. And so I'm excited to take advantage of the energy bump that I have right now and try and take advantage and get as much done. So part of the reason why I ended up with an erasing mess of pencil and torn pages is because I was trying to letter and I didn't like my lettering and I was getting really frustrated. But I was also running out of time, so I just defaulted to using my two favorite stamp sets. December is stamped using an Amy Tangerine alphabet stamp. It unfortunately has been discontinued, but I have linked something similar down below. And then the bottom, Tis the Season, is using a stamp set from Studio L2E, which has also been discontinued, but I have linked her shop down below anyways. She's a small business and she's got some really cute stamp sets, so definitely check her out if you get the chance. So now I'm doing my calendar page. Again, I was watching Joshi Corin's videos and she had some really cool stuff going on in her December setup where she had tasks for every week in her calendar page, and I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to give that a try for January. We'll see how it goes, but right now I use it as a notes section. And the idea behind using it as a notes section is to kind of write down anything that comes up for next month or anything that, or to highlight anything that absolutely needs to get done that month. So changing my winter tires, for example, that was one that I had to do in October when we have guests coming over to visit, making sure that the house is getting clean and the bedding is all clean and ready for them. So kind of big tasks like that, where later on I'll go and I'll assign a date to it, but for the time being that's just kind of the catch-all that I'm using. So since I used gifts or presents as my theme, I decided to complement that theme with gift cards and gift tags, and I did use a similar theme last year with gift tags and holly, But I thought it was fun because, you know, you put gift tags on your presents, and so why not use the gift tags as the boxes throughout my layouts? So that's what I did, and I actually really loved how it turned out. You'll get to see more of how I incorporate that in my weeklies, but for now, I did letter my December. I was happy with how it was lettered, and I am going to go in and outline it and cover up the pencil, so that'll look better too. Normally for Christmas, we'll travel to go see family. We're in Calgary, Alberta, and our family is in Vancouver, BC. And this year, again, we decided to stay put. So I'm excited to get some stuff done and tick off some want to dos and need to dos in my list. We have some fun family activities planned, which I'm really excited for. And I'm excited to document that. I am attempting December daily again this year. I am not ready for it, but I'm excited to start playing with my supplies again. I feel like I've been in a huge funk, and it's been really hard to find the motivation to be creative. And so like I said earlier in the video, when I do have that energy, I kind of want to take full advantage of it. So that's where I am right now. Let me know down below if you do December memory keeping, so like December Daily, which is by Ali Edwards. I'm curious because I find that there's a lot of overlap between journaling and something like Ali Edwards, especially if you are a creative journaler. It's basically a very easy, more fun way of scrapbooking. So I really do enjoy it. I've just lost a little bit of momentum. So back to my layout. I am lettering my December. I'm using a darker color to do the outer border. This has been the style that I've been relying on the last few months, and I do like it too. I really do. But I really also like how the black pops. So I have some decisions to make there and kind of explore and play a little bit more. And again, that's why I love creative bullet journaling so much. For me, it's my jumping off point for learning. It's been my catalyst for learning calligraphy, for learning how to draw better, for learning Procreate. It's been so fantastic. I really appreciate journaling. It's my basic. It's where I come back to. So like a ballerina would go back to the bar. I come back to my journal, and I really do enjoy it. And I've definitely been neglecting it lately. So I'm excited to rely on it more and put more meaningful information in there to help me. Now, as you can see, the R of my December, my pen kind of bubbled out and made a big splotch. But another reason why I love the acrylographs is because I can just go over it once it's dry, which you'll see me do. You won't see me do it, but you'll see the effects after I fix it. My camera ended up cutting out, so unfortunately you don't get to see me troubleshoot that. But if you'd like to see a video on the acrylographs, I'm definitely happy to share that with you. I have linked a video on how I drew my moths for October, and there I show a little bit of my process for using acrylographs. So just let me know down below. When I do my tabs, I do like the corners to have the consistency of the rest of the notebook, and so that means corner punching them. And this corner puncher was fairly inexpensive and works so well, and I've had it forever. Whenever I find it's getting a bit dull, I just punch some tinfoil and that sharpens it, and then we're good to go. I've had this thing for probably about 6 or 7 years now, and it's fantastic. It's not aesthetic, but it works. So this is my notes page. I've always added my notes page. I think in previous videos I've said sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I've definitely been using it a lot to capture random thoughts, and if I'm going to start incorporating getting things done, I'm hoping that I'm going to get a lot more use out of this page, and there'll probably be more of it. I don't know, I'm thinking about dedicating a whole journal to the process, but again, I digress. Here is my notes page ready to go. And here is where I start my weekly page. this is where I decided to use my tags for the days of the week. So last month for November, I used the Alistair method. I went back to using that. And it was okay. Didn't use it as effectively as I would have if I was sticking strongly to the method. So for December, I just decided to go with a giant task list. So my schedule is still fairly unpredictable for the most part. And again, I've mentioned before, sometimes I have high energy, sometimes I have low energy, and I can't always predict when that's going to happen. So I find having or allocating tasks to a certain day, especially kind of random tasks, I don't know how to describe it, but laundry, for example. Okay, well, this week I'm going to do laundry on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, great. But what if something happens on that Monday or Tuesday? For example, this Monday I had to go pick up a sick kid. So that kind of delayed the laundry. You know what I mean? So for my mental health, I'm going to say, it works better for me to just have the task list. So just to capture it and then get it done. So things that have to be completed by a specific day, I will put that in the day. So the tags are each days of the week. So that will be assigned to the day of the week. But then things like, again, laundry is my example. That's going to go in my task list. I did have some work tasks that needed to be completed, and I put that in my task list because the date was actually included in the task. So that worked out quite well. And there's just certain tasks that I know I absolutely have to do. I'm not explaining this well, but for me, having that pressure of putting that date there makes me feel anxious if I'm not going to get it done. And so it's not serving a purpose in terms of helping my overall anxiety around getting things done because I wrote it down. I don't know. Again, I'm not explaining this properly, but until I can get a more reasonable schedule, or at least a more predictable schedule, I feel that this is how I'm going to work. I think I mentioned in my previous video, we've gone through a transition, and so now I've had a bit more time free up, but I still don't trust that I have that time. I've taken on more at work, and so yeah, I just need to find a schedule that works for me, and then I can start actually planning properly and specifically. Not properly, planning specifically. So again, that's another goal for 2024, is to not get anxious when I don't finish something, number one. And number two, just find that balance between the flexibility, but also the accountability. That's definitely my struggle. And so I'm excited to kind of hash that out and figure that out. So for my lettering for my days of the week, I just went super simple. All my downstrokes, I just made them thicker, and that was it. And then of course calligraphy for my to-do list. As you can see, I have Monday through Friday on the left-hand page, Saturday and Sunday on the right, and I apologize for the camera. I don't know why it was doing that. And then I have, again, a notes section. This is for capturing things that come up next week, or things that kind of need to be pulled out of that week and make note of it for the next week, or if a task comes up and I need some information for the task that's for that week, that's where I'm going to put it. And of course, adding my borders. I really like the roughness of the border. I've spoken in a previous video about how doing the borders freehand makes it look rough and kind of takes away the pressure of trying to make it look perfect. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves when this blank page is staring up at us and we're trying to be creative, and that rough border tells me that it's okay if it doesn't turn out exactly like I imagined it. So I definitely say give it a try and see if it works for you, and see if you get stuck on doing those borders as well. So this is my December setup. Thank you so much for your time today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more bullet journal content and how to easily tap into your own creativity. See you in the next one.